Organising your partner visa evidence. What does the case officer actually look for? So is organising your evidence really that important? Yes, of course it is. So the evidence of your partner visa is making up the bulk of your application, and at the end of the day, your application is being assessed against your evidence. You can be in a clearly genuine and committed relationship, but if your evidence is not organised properly, then you're not putting yourself in the best place to tell your love story. This is going to make it really tricky for your case officer to determine whether or not you are ultimately meeting the requirements for a partner visa. The case officer doesn't know your evidence speaks for you. So this is a line that I always tell couples who use the Partner Visa Academy. When you're putting together your partner visa, you obviously know the ins and outs of your relationship so well. And truthfully, I'm also going to know the ins and outs of your relationship really well after speaking to you, after reviewing various documents, sometimes numerous times, after doing your evidence planning session, speaking to you through office hours. So I'm going to have a really good feel for you and your evidence and your relationship. But your case officer, they don't get to speak to you. So they only know you through the documents you upload to the IMI account and the way that you present your love story, which is your evidence. So it is really important to get it right. What evidence do I need for my partner visa? This is a huge question. I've done a lot of blogs previously around the evidence you need, the 4 pillars of relationship, and specifically blogs around the financial aspect, the social aspect, household, and your commitment to each other. So if this is the first blog you're watching, welcome, but please do go through and look at the other blogs as well. I'm not going to cover exactly the types of evidence that the department's looking for, but more so around organising what you actually need to organise. Which brings me to the next point of how should I be organising my evidence? So there's no perfect way of how to organise your evidence. There's no rule book that says you have to do X, Y, and Z to then get a partner visa. But really it's about structure. It's about organisation. It's about being clear. It's about being intentional. This is exactly what we teach you at the Partner Visa Academy. But for those of you watching, you need to be so intentional when you are putting your partner visas together and collating your evidence. One way that I like to do this is look at the 4 pillars. So you've obviously got 4 different categories that immigration's looking at, which again, your financials, your household, social, and commitment. As a starting point, create 4 different folders on your laptop or your computer with these titles. And then take your documents, they can be scattered for now, but take your documents and put them under each of these categories. What I then like to do is have a rough look at what documents you have under each. Do you have documents under the financial category? Do you have documents under the social category? And so on. From there, what I like to do is see whether a couple has got similar evidence. So if you've got evidence which can be grouped together, then there's no point in uploading 10 different files of the same thing. Collate them, compress them, put them into one PDF and label it correctly. I'll give you an example. If you and your partner have a joint bank account, let's say you've had that joint account for 12 months. You're not going to upload 12 different statements to the IMI account. What you're going to do is you're going to collate all of your bank account statements, put them into one PDF document and label it correctly under the financial aspects. A similar example can be used with photographs. You're not going to individually upload 30 different photos or 40 different photos to your IMI account. You're going to put them all into some type of document and you're going to label each photograph clearly. Are there certain tools or systems to help me organize my evidence? Yes, there's so much out there these days. Some of my favorites include Cam Scanner for scanning documents. I love PDF for compressing documents, merging documents as well. And of course there's Canva. Canva is wonderful. We're seeing it be used a lot, especially for things like social media posts or photographs. So take advantage of what's out there and what's free as well. Now let's go through some of the most asked questions when it comes to how to actually organize your evidence and what you can and can't do. So the first question is around how many documents you can upload to the IMI account. Despite what a lot of people think, there are a certain amount of documents you can upload to the IMI account, and that number is 100. So it's 100 for the applicant and it's 100 for the sponsor. So together you've got 200 documents you can upload. In my experience, and after doing partner visas for about 12 years, we seldom, if rarely, use all of those attachments. And the reason for that is if you are grouping things properly and uploading them as groups instead of just individual files, you're not going to hit that number. Is there a size limit for uploading documents? Yes, there is a size limit for uploading documents to the IMI account, and that's 5 megabytes per file. How do we include messages and social media posts? So this is a great one. A lot of couples use social media these days. If you don't worry about it. But if you do use social media, that's great evidence to provide. So again, instead of providing different attachments and uploading 20 different files of social media evidence, what I would do, or what I would recommend a couple at the Partner Visa Academy do, is look at what you have that comes under social media. So look at things like posts, your stories on Instagram, your mutual friends on Facebook, or your mutual followers on Instagram. Anything that can be related to social media, you want to put into one PDF with a cover letter explaining what it is, why you're providing it, and label that document very clearly. So as an example, you could name it something like samples of social media posts between X date to X date. I hope that these little tips and tricks have helped you, but ultimately it is super important that you know how to organize your evidence. Remember that ultimately the only way the decision maker gets to learn about your love story is through your evidence, and your job is to make their job as easy as possible. Please note that this blog is intended for general information only and does not constitute immigration advice. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button and head on over to thepartnervisaacademy.com.au. See you in the next video.